Ahoy there, baseball fans, and welcome back to DohMance Dawn for episode 77, as we're here to cover One Piece, The Simpsons, and also the hot new stadium food at the Albuquerque Isotopes Stadium. I'm Luke, he, him, sometimes they, them, and I am here with my slam dunk of a partner, my home run of a partner, my 3-serving-0 score of a partner, Janine.
Hello, my name is Janine Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I don't have a third thing to say. Wow, I guess I can't ask Luke what do we do on this podcast because you kind of just laid it all out, and let's get into it.
Hell yeah. So as I mentioned, I forgot that it's the start of Major League Baseball season. And that means that we're going back to our favorite home team, the Albuquerque Isotopes, even though Janine does not live in Albuquerque, and neither do I. But because of the Simpsons connection, it's tradition. It's tradition. So, the headliner sandwich that they have, and they announced these a few months ago, and I just kind of forgot because time is a weird thing, is the ballpark sandwich, Janine. So are you ready for this?
What's on it?
It's a pretzel bun with smoked brisket, a South Carolina mustard-based barbecue sauce. Are you familiar with the South Carolina barbecue sauce?
Yes, I am.
And then on top of that, some hot dog bacon.
Huh.
And then on top of that, white onions, crispy pickles, and beer nuts. It is everything that you can get at a ballpark on a single sandwich.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. The thing that my wife said is actively insane is a spicy roasted half chicken. Just like you are carrying an entire half chicken with you along with a cup of red chili infused barbecue sauce. Which I think that makes more sense. Like, I can see a person eating a whole half chicken at a baseball game.
I mean, I guess I have not sat through a baseball game to find out exactly how much food I could be able to eat during a duration of it, but dog, if you're hungry enough, you could put one or two of these away.
Mm-hmm. The past few times that I went, I was in the corporate box for the company that I used to work for, and so we got catered food, which is a different affair altogether. They also are offering Hungarian hot smoked paprika chicken wings.
Interesting.
It comes with a cucumber ranch dressing.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Like sort of a tzatziki, but with a ranch twist.
Yeah.
They
I'll
also
fuck
have
that up.
Yeah. They also have the Fanfare milkshake, which is a Bloody Mary style milkshake. So it's a homemade ice cream cookie dipped in a milkshake with chocolate straws, marshmallow whipped cream, chocolate sauce at the bottom, and a cherry on top. So Bloody Mary in the sort of way that a lot of Bloody Marys are just ridiculously loaded with things.
Yeah, I guess.
They also have ice cream nachos, which are wafer cookies dusted with cinnamon and sugar, drizzled with chocolate and caramel sauce. And then they get dipped in ice cream and whipped cream.
Interesting take on a ballpark classic. I gotta say, like, out through everything that you've just said, that sounds like something that I would definitely try. Like 100%.
I'm a bit more surprised that they didn't go with like a sopapilla instead of wafer cookies.
I think they really just wanted to like kind of make it dippable, something
Mhm.
that would not break if you actually did try to dip it inside of ice cream, which I guess if it's cold, yeah, you gotta have something that's a little bit more stronger.
Mhm. They also have a pina colada ice cream float, which is a scoop of creamy soft serve ice cream with delicious non alcoholic pina colada and garnished with a pineapple wedge topped with whipped cream and a cherry.
Huh.
And then they also just mentioned a brownie sundae. So nothing really as wild as what we had had in the past with the dentist's delight or pig candy.
Oh, yeah, but I think that there's still a lot of new things that they're doing here that have definitely, I don't know, it feels a lot better than last year. I
Hmm.
don't remember a lot of what came out last year, but it I did seem kind of disappointed. This is kind of middling for me right now,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures, and that half chicken looks good. Those chicken wings look good. The sandwich maybe looks a bit too poorly constructed, like there's too much on it.
It does
But
seem like you're gonna end up like eating it like individual pieces off of it with a fork, you
mhm.
know?
And like the brownies and the nachos seem a bit too Midwest Mexican restaurant in some ways. Like I want something to kind of elevate it a bit more. But the milkshakes, I can deal with some crazy milkshakes, and
I
that
think
pina
I'd give
colada
it,
sounds good.
yeah, I think without trying a single one of these damn things, just by the sounds of them, I'd rate it a 7 out of 10.
Hmm.
You know, pretty good. A little bit better than than what I had seen last year, but not quite meeting the expectations that I have had before. You know,
Yeah. But speaking of meeting expectations, it's time for everybody's long lost favorite segment. Luke went to the movies. I went to the movies to see a movie, and you know what I saw at the movies?
what'd you see?
Films. All right. So, this week we are going to be covering. Dang, I had too many tabs. I lost the tabs that I wanted. Where are the tabs? The show notes. Oh, okay. It was also on the notes. Yeah. This week we were covering episodes that ran between July 18th and September 5th of the year 2010. And we got three Simpsons episodes and then a bunch of One Piece episodes. And the first Simpsons episode is Elementary School Musical, which is one of those ones that I watched solely because the Flight of the Conchords guys were on it.
Yeah,
And it, it doesn't have a clear enough idea. Homer and Bart go with Krusty to a Nobel Peace Prize ceremony while Marge drops Lisa off at Performing Arts Camp, where Lisa has a great time. When she gets home, she misses the camp, so she goes to find her counselors and finds out that they are poor and they don't get to do creative work outside. When Marge picks her up, though, they made her a mural celebrating her potential future endeavors to inspire her to not give up. And then Krusty finds out he's being tried at The Hague for crimes against everything unless he can find something that he's done to contribute to the world. And so Bart finds a video where, because Krusty refuses to do a concert, it indirectly leads to Nelson Mandela being freed.
I gotta be honest. This one sucked for me.
Yeah, you messaged me that you actively didn't like all of these, and I feel like
Well,
all of them maybe had some poor or undeveloped endings, but
it's not just the endings. It's just like the messaging of everything. At the start of this episode, there's kind of a joke made about like the Simpsons not having like a budget or something, and it
mm-hmm,
comes off as really weird after the Simpsons had been renewed for, at this point, its 22nd season, and it was around the time that Fox just kept on canceling shit.
mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. Comparatively, I think that The Simpsons definitely are sitting pretty. So, for them to be able to, like, make broad stroke ideas, like, against art and artists,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed very, like, weird to me. Like, especially after knowing how different writers who had worked for The Simpsons had been when they started working at other things, like realized that when they were working on The Simpsons, they were able to get away with a lot more. Like, it's like hearing one of your white friends say something about white people. Like, I get it that like you are aware of shit, but
Mm-hmm.
also you are that shit.
Mm-hmm. It's making jokes about their privilege from a position of privilege when it's also very unaware of like everything else that's going on and how much harder other people have.
Yes, and also Flight of the Concords has had like better songs in worse things. I feel like.
Yeah, like these are definitely Simpsons writers wrote Flight of Concord style songs as opposed to they got the band to write them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very underwhelming. The second one is Lona Lisa, where Grandpa gives everyone their inheritance of $50. Marge is pushed to get a $500 purse, but it gets stained, though she's still able to return it for full value. And then Homer decides to buy and return more luxury goods until he gets caught and runs away, and it's never really resolved beyond that. And then Lisa gives Nelson a microloan with her money to customize bikes, and he becomes successful and decides to drop out of school. Lisa tries to convince Nelson to stay in school, but she tries to show him a bunch of rich people, and none of them graduated, even though all of them at least graduated high school. It's just most of them are infamous college dropouts. And it's like fucking Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Those are outliers, Lisa. You didn't bring in your fucking outlier bias. I am disappointed in your inability to at least do any research first.
To be honest,
Also, all
yeah,
those people suck.
not only do all of those people suck, but they are also people who had rich parents.
Mm-hmm.
So like the idea of them like needing to have been successful and gone to college is completely moot because like they got their start from help from their parents.
Yeah.
And there's only one good joke here that I've really liked, and
Mm-hmm.
it is just a side thing that happens with Lou going undercover with the mob.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
yeah.
like I feel like that could have been like a funny B plot inside of an episode, but just kind of gets stuck inside of like a couple of jokes inside of this one that is just piled on with some not great shit. And also, as much as Lisa is looking for like an ideal person that had, graduated college,
Mm-hmm.
um the very next episode we're instantly introduced to somebody who she should have known about.
Oh yeah. Well, it also turns out that because Nelson wasn't good enough in school, he misread the usage instructions on glue, and so everything that he made falls apart, and he decides to return to school. But yeah, no, it's an underwritten episode for Lisa, where she's essentially a preachy mouthpiece, and it's not good.
Yeah.
The third one is Money Bart, where a Yale graduate from Springfield returns and makes Lisa feel inadequate about her extracurricular activities. So then, when Ned steps down as Little League coach, Lisa steps up and uses sabermetrics. While the team starts to win and even gets to second place, Bart misses actually playing the game, so he ignores Lisa and scores a home run. And then Lisa kicks him off the team for not listening to him, or for not listening to her, which divides the team and the family. But Lisa keeps winning because she knows what she's fucking doing, and people need to listen to her, even if it's not fun. And if it's not fun, they can just quit. And at the finals, Marge takes Bart out for fun, but then Lisa needs another player, so she calls Bart to help. And when he plays, he ignores Lisa and ends up losing the game, but Lisa's fine with it because she got to fall in love with baseball again, but I think it's a weak thing. And if Bart had listened to her, they could have won. But Bart's Bart is in the wrong here, I will say.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like they subverted the feel-good ending on purpose for no real reason.
Mhm.
There are some good, solid baseball jokes here, which I do feel like the writers are writing from a place where they know. A callback to a previous baseballer coming back.
Oh yeah, we get new Mike Sosha.
Yeah.
New Mike Sosha.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
New Mike Sosha. New Mike Sosha, don't you know? Baseball's favorite playing Joe.
Well, I mean, I did have fun in this episode, which is more like me able to say with other episodes, but the ending of it, I feel like completely undermines everything because after having such a bummer of a Lisa episode, um, you know, Bart being able to follow Lisa's orders and then like going to a win and then like being equals is one thing, but um nobody plays baseball for fun. No one goes to see baseball for fun. No one talks about baseball for fun.
Which is why we are starting a new Brockmire spin-off podcast where we're also going to be talking about the classic anime Yu Yu Hakusho. It's called Yu Yu Brockmire Show. They actually did do a really good baseball episode this season that also tackles online sports gambling.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's a Mo and Grandpa episode.
That is a weird combination.
It is, but also, who would still like baseball in 2025 more than an old man with nostalgia and a slightly younger old man with no real friends?
Good point.
Yeah, we're always like,
Man.
Every day.
mm-hmm. All right. And yeah, new characters who we have include David Doyle, Dick Martin, Charles Nelson Riley, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Master Craftsman, new Mike Sosha, Cloud Buzz Lightyear, Talking Goat, and musical guest replacement Funnel Cake Man. It's Saturday Night Live.
Man.
All
Am
right.
I right, ladies?
Mm-hmm. So we then have our One Piece episodes 466 through 471. These include The Straw Hat Team Arrives. The battlefield grows more intense.
I'll save you, even if I die. Luffy versus the Marines. The battle starts.
Consecutive battles. Devil Fruit User Army versus Devil Fruit User Army.
Kuma causes disaster. Ivan-san's angry attack.
Master Swordsman Mihawk. The Black Sword Slash draws near Luffy.
The extermination operation begins. The might of the Pacifista army.
So, as the prison escape is far from the sky, it turns out that Jinbei had piloted the ship as a helmsman into the tsunami, and they land with the Navy ship crashing into a hole in the ice where Jozu had ripped the ice out of the water. And guess what, Janine?
What, Janine?
It's a helmsman Jinbei watch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Luffy calls it. So Jinbei rescues the Devil Fruit users, and when Luffy gets back up, he looks for Ace amongst the chaos. He calls out to his brother, who calls back to him, and Luffy declares they are going to save Ace. So Luffy and his allies grab the attention of everyone, and Jinbei announces he's quitting the Warlords, which, honestly, great way to quit. Not sending an email, just letting everyone know you're done.
What an inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Crocodile goes to attack Whitebeard, but he's interrupted by the soggy Luffy, who promises to protect Whitebeard, and Whitebeard recognizes Luffy's hat, and both of them declare they're going to save Ace and are going to team up for the time being. Luffy charges forward with the division leaders and escapees behind him, while Whitebeard decides to hang back, suspicious of Sengoku's plan. Kizaru initially blocks Luffy's path, and he charges in until Ivankov saves him from a death blast. Kuma then starts targeting Eva next, and he feels hurt that his old friend is attacking him. Django and Full Body show up. Django tries to hypnotize him before Hina shows up. We just get a bunch of quick cameos with all the old villains. Moria sends in zombies to attack Luffy, but he's not stopped. And Ace, all the while, is trying to get Luffy to stop, but Luffy declares that they are brothers since they shared cups, and he is not going to stop, and Jinbei just blasts those zombies with seawater, which has salt in them. That's when Sengoku reveals to everyone that Luffy's Dragon's son, and Ace begs for Luffy and Whitebeard to just let him die. Whitebeard recognizes Buggy leading the prisoners and ends up also getting Buggy to ally with him because he realizes that Buggy is more likely to cause chaos if he's just running around trying to survive, and Whitebeard's later troops start to come in. They were supposed to be led by Squard, and when Squard isn't there, he orders the Declevin brothers and the other pirates to attack the newly approaching Navy ships instead of charging forward. Luffy and Eva continue to run forward, while Moria and Jinbei decide to focus on each other. Moria steals the shadows from a bunch of Marines so he can enter Shadow's Asgard mode, but Jinbei takes him down. Smoker and Tashigi go to attack Luffy while Kuma blasts Ivankov away, and Smoker ends up pinning Luffy, but Hancock kicks him away. More fun chaos. Doflamingo taunts Ivankov by saying that Kuma is dead, while Hancock gives Luffy the key to Ace's cuffs, and then Luffy hugs her for it, and she decides that Luffy is declaring marriage.
That's how that works.
Mm-hmm. And you know why Luffy doesn't understand it?
Why's that?
Man.
I guess?
Mm-hmm. Luffy sees Ivankov facing down Kuma and Doflamingo, and Doflamingo explains that Kuma has had his mind removed and is now a full cyborg. And Kuma starts attacking the new Kama, so Ivankov, feeling slighted because Kuma was somehow able to forget Ivankov, attacks. Which, honestly, that's real.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Galadino, meanwhile, hid Buggy and the prisoners in a wax wall before seeing Luffy charging in, and they kind of decided they need to maybe follow after. Crocodile tries to attack Whitebeard again, and Diamond Jozu blocks him before Doflamingo interrupts and freezes Jozu. As Luffy continues to run forward, Hawkeye Mihawk runs into him. Eva continues holding off Kuma, and Mihawk starts sword blasting at him. Jinbei moves in to face off with Mihawk, who knocks him into the water, and then Mihawk moves in for a killing blow, which Luffy barely escapes when he goes to attack. And that loose blade completely slices through the ice wall, sending pieces down across the battlefield and onto Navy ships. Buggy uses the opportunity to look for a video snail, that way he can get famous this way, and Doflamingo asks Crocodile to team up for a new era where everything is going to be based on power, and Crocodile says, no, you should work for me instead, and attacks Doflamingo, sending him away, and then that sandstorm also hits Buggy and the prisoners. Which, I almost feel sorry for Buggy and the prisoners, but also those prisoners were in jail for, most likely, actual crimes.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to be on this battlefield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Hancock keeps attacking Smoker while Luffy tries to avoid Mihawk, and he ends up using Buggy as a human shield. Vista comes in to face Mihawk so Luffy can keep charging forward, and Buggy finally ends up with a video transponder snail. Sengoku orders the Marines to cut off video so they can hide what they're about to do and can control the story before a wave of massive attacks start hitting the other pirate ships, which come from Sentomaru, leading a squad of pacifistas. And yeah, I think this moment hits great. It's like, oh, we've seen what this has done. This is bad news bears.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit, I wasn't even trying to make a pun there.
Man.
I'm not even the one in control of that.
I know. I've got self-loathing enough for both of us. But as I learned in a movie that I saw this weekend, the pirates are scattered instead of rounded up in the bay thanks to Whitebeard's planning, but the pacifistas are still able to start unleashing a lot of blasts, even at the cost of Marines. Whitebeard orders the pirates to keep fighting towards the plaza, and Vista continues to hold Mihawk at a standstill, which is why Vista gets action figures and toys.
Interesting.
Yeah, like this is pretty much the main thing that he appears in, and he's like, oh, he's not a big enough character that he is playable in a lot of games, but he's like a support character.
That
It's
is a very good place to be, you know?
mm-hmm.
Like, a big enough support character where you are getting, like, action figures and fan fiction written about you, but not so big that you have to become plot important enough to be tortured
Mm-hmm.
endlessly.
Rule 63 Vista Art. No, nothing there
Yeah.
yet. Yeah. So the video feeds, meanwhile, starts to cut out across the world as Sengoku plans to finish the war quickly. Kizaru interrupts Luffy's charge, and so Whitebeard's commander worked to get Luffy over to Ace, and Curiel faces off with Moria. Buggy's feed is the last remaining feed where they start trying to do a promotional video for Buggy himself, but due to his perfectionism, they are slow to reveal anything. And as the only feed that is continuing, the outside audience is very angry that they have no idea what is happening. And that's when Squad reappears to check in with Whitebeard before declaring he is not part of Whitebeard's family, and Uchiha style runs him through. What a twist!
Definitely not expecting it. I always thought that people named Squard were trustworthy.
Mm-hmm. It's Squad versus Squadcism.
That old biblical name, Squard.
Mm-hmm. Squad was a king in the time of Joseph. Didn't believe in the Lord. That's my Tom Waits song about Squad. Biblical Squad. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff happened. It got quickly summarized. Everybody's happy. And now we have 8 characters to go through and match. Are you ready, Janine?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Excuse me. So up first we have Epoida, who is a man who turns into a very hungry caterpillar. Reverse Eye Patch did submit a suggestion for this character, even though they were not an open suggestion, as Butterfly Bart. But as this was not a legal suggestion, we cannot accept that, unless Janine wrote that down as an idea. But my 3 suggestions were for a Rodrigo style, Ethan Ballantyne. My throwback was Grub Homer from the Insects Couch gag, and then I had Sorghum Farmer, who appeared in that Rock Bottom episode about the sex farm.
Huh.
Who do you have, Janine?
Well, I don't think I knew about this person's devil fruit power.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of went by what was available. My Rodrigo style is New Mike Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
And I have as my throwback, Buck McCoy.
Interesting.
Yep, I went on the cowboy aesthetic.
That works with the hat. I'm good to use New Mike Scotia.
Hell yeah. Have we used old Mike Scotia? You don't have to look it up right now. It's just,
You just want to know if we have. We have.
Oh, okay. Then we're all
As Mr.
Scotia'd out.
Ford. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Up next we have I don't think the song is supposed to begin this long. No, it's not looping. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's a really long opening to the song. No.
The suspense is killing.
Yes, that's right. It's
amazing. Oh my god, don't cut any of that.
Oh, I won't. Let's see, I promised you three sound clips. Are you ready for the third one, Janine?
Sure.
Are you sure?
That makes me feel a little less sure.
Uh-huh.
Cicadas are in season, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you might say the time is now for cicadas. Oh.
Oh my god.
Who do you have for Amado?
Well, my Rodrigo style, I got Zuck because I just kind of want to burn Zuck as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm realizing that we probably already used him, but I have Plow King.
We have used Plow King. I looked at Plow King. I am friends with Plow King. And I know that we can't use him for Plow King. My Rodrigo style was star of stage and screen Elaine Stritch. My throwback was Oberon Millhouse because Omadov also kind of has that same color. Oh, wait, I forgot to share my picks sheet with you. That's why. Oh. I've been so scatterbrained because I saw 2 movies this weekend.
He won't say which ones, but he saw films.
Uh-huh. I mean, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw Captain America 4, and it's the shittiest film that I've seen in quite a while.
Damn!
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, Oberon Millhouse, when he gets turned into his costume, because that... Oberon Millhouse can evolve into Omadub. And then also Mardi Gras King Cletus.
Huh.
So I want to push for Oberon Millhouse or at least King of Mardi Gras Cletus.
I'm good with King of Mardi Gras Cletus. I do kind of like his little shitty crown.
Hey, this is Luke editing the episode. I meant to say Oberon Martin. Awesome. We then have Karma, who's a man with an octopus on a head. And my Rodrigo style was the Electric Company host. My throwback was Dr. Octopus, and then I had Country Western Octopus Lisa. Who do you have, Janine?
Well, let's see here. For my Rodrigo style, I had Sanjui. I was just looking at shit, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And for my throwback, I had Osaka Seafood Concern Squid.
Ooh. I want to push for Dr. Octopus here because Osaka Seafood Concern Squid and Country Western Octopus are both going to have opportunities when we finally get to Fishman Island.
I see that. And also the Dr. Octopus is a shitty birthday Dr. Octopus.
Mhm.
For those that can't see the pics that we are looking at.
Mhm.
And it is just fucking ridiculous, dog.
Yes, I've updated it to be Birthday Dr. Octopus because I believe we also got another Dr. Octopus in the Everyman movie.
Ah. Shitty birthday Dr. Octopus, I am fine going with.
Excellent. We then have Kinga, who has long hair that is kind of unremarkable. Who did you who do you have for Kinga?
I have Cloud Mike Wazowski,
Mm-hmm.
and I just threw out G.I. Joe again. I know it doesn't look like G.I. Joe. I've been throwing out G.I. Joe for the past couple of episodes, maybe even 3 episodes now, and just been looking to offload this G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Who'd you have?
I mean, some people serve cunt. You throw G.I. Joe. My Rodrigo was Chris Hansen because I don't remember if he also got caught doing sex crimes or something. I had Inga specifically from Coming to Homerica, and then Trent Steele, who is Homer's cool friend when he changes his name to Max Power, because he also has a ponytail. And that's the main thing that I have about Kinga is the ponytail, and is a guy
Yeah.
with a kind of cool name. Are you good to go with Trent Steele?
I feel like I should. I have this instinct to want to Uterpile Trent Steele
Mm-hmm.
just from the name, but also like I know from watching the episode that his name is just basically like all there is to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine using Trent Steele.
All American made Trent Steele. We then have Wallum, who has a goatee and a mustache and a cowboy hat and a sword and a coat that he wears over his shoulders with epaulets. Who did you have for Wallum?
I had Cloud Buzz Lightyear.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just, throwing out stuff from the Rodrigo style that's just kind of like, we got shotgun a lot of stuff and like throw it out as soon as you get it. But for my throwback, I had Avery Devereaux. I'm not sure we used Avery, but it was because of the facial hair I was trying to match.
We have not used any Averys. My Rodrigo style was Haig Judge because of the facial hair. I also had on throwback William H. Macy because Wallum is sort of like Willem. And Brynjolf Jensen, just because Wallum is a Norwegian name and Brynjolf is a Norwegian. Can I push you for? Well, I'm also going to look up Avery Devereaux because that is a name I don't fully remember. Okay, soap opera character.
Yes, voiced by John Lovitz.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love a Simpsons character voiced by John Lovitz.
Buck, you want to throw away on a character as small as Wallum?
Yes, I do, because John Lovitz voiced a lot of fucking characters.
All right. I mean, I still want to go for Willem H. Macy, but I'll let you do Avery Devereaux.
Nice. Love it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
All right. We then got Brew, who just has a lot of arrow hair and spiky hair. My Rodrigo was Kurt Hardwick. My throwback was Guinness Brewer, and then I had Bullseye Truck Driver. Who do you have?
Well, I have Cloud Wally again,
Mm-hmm.
throwing shit out there for my Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm.
But then for my throwback, I have Zohar, the adulterer from Lisa versus the Eighth Commandment.
Oh, yeah.
Again, pulling on the facial hair aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just double checked that we had not used Zohar. I'm good to go with Zohar.
Let's use Zohar.
Let's use Zohar.
You don't mess with the Zohar.
Uh-huh. We then have Palms, and I'm getting a fan suggestion from a verse eye patch, this time legal, with Beard of Bees Grandpa. When Grandpa had that Beard of Bees.
Interesting.
Because the thing that we were discussing is, you know how our Panda Man is Bumblebee Guy?
Yeah.
So bees and pandas are the same thing. Like there is an exchange rate. Like you can go and say, give me 5 bees for a panda. As was the style at the time.
As was the style at the time. Huh.
Because Holmes is wearing a panda skin, and we can't go back to Sim Sim. My Rodrigo style was Electric Company Spider-Man. I had Defonso Skinny Palmer, and then Robot Bear. I really had no ideas for him. Who did you have, Janine?
I had, for my Rodrigo style, Van Kroosten.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had Robot Bear.
Wild. You just saw a bunch of robot bears show up. We need to save robot bears.
I was certain that we weren't going to use any more characters for any additional Kuma, because all of those Kuma are basically just kind of like
Interchangeable.
yeah, and unnamed. Like we don't actually have like numbers for them
Mm-hmm.
as we did before.
Mm-hmm.
So like
But you were wrong, because the time is now. We need to save robot bears, Janine.
okay. You know, I do like the setup of bees and bears,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder how far we can take that.
I think it's good because we also have like Beard of Bees, Millhouse. We have a bunch of evil bees. I I think that Reverse Eye Patch did excellent logic. They lobbied hard for their idea. I want to support them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead and put on the board now that bears equal bees.
Mm-hmm. So if you are now in the queer community in the DohMance Dawn, if you are looking for a large hairy man, you are looking for a bee.
Yep, that's just the rule now.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, we have Broca. And she's a lady pirate. Who did you have for Baraka?
I had, as my Rodrigo style, Fat Tony's Pregante daughter. And as my throwback, I had Ms. Sinclair. She runs the busted daycare center that
She's
Maggie
another
breaks up.
Lovitz.
Yeah, she's another Lovitz. I
Mhm.
can't get enough of Lovitz.
Lovitz or leave it. You know, John Lovitz eventually shows up on AP Bio as Schwank. My Rodrigo was Dahlia Brinkley. My throwback was Princess Rockstar. And then I had number 27, who figured out how to make oil into water or something like that. I feel like we're going to forget about Dahlia Brinkley.
You think so?
Uh-huh. I brink so.
Oh, but she could be such a good pull for any Nami
Capable.
related characters.
Fair. She's also not pregnant, and we've seen a few characters get pregnant, and I don't feel like she's enough of a babysitter to fit Miss Sinclair.
I
And
do
also,
like I do like 27 for the hat.
mhm.
I'm a big sucker for matching a character with a hat to a character with a hat.
I'm good with number 27. I think that's also why I picked her. I was looking at the Wikia page for characters who wear hats.
Thank you for Simpsons wiki users who end up having very fucking niche categories for us to look through.
Populate more of them,
Yes,
please.
please. Characters with facial hair and characters with beards are two separate categories, and they've both been helping me out a fuck ton.
Also, characters with specific hair colors.
Ooh, yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Gotta shout out those blue nets. I hate that term. All right. Well, Janine, that's going to, I think, wrap us up for this week. I saw Sinners and Thunderbolts asterisk this weekend. In 2 weeks, we're going to be doing?
What are we going to be doing?
We're going to the movies. We're going to cover one of the One Piece movies that we haven't seen with a special guest.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where can you be found online?
People can be able to find me on Blue Sky at JanineJuliet.bisky.social
Mm-hmm.
over on Blue Sky, but also I'm on Instagram. Janine is dope. I am posting rather infrequently there, and that probably is not going to change. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be trying out any other social medias because it seems like all of them kind of like died.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke, where can they find you?
I think Sinners was an excellent piece of work that shows the benefits of being able to leave the Hollywood studio system. And I'd really love to see more creators who have built up a good amount of money and a good following investing in people to make these sorts of seminal initial works of art where the studio, instead of micromanaging everything and limiting their vision, allows them to flourish. And Thunderbolts is just a really good time. That is a nice reversion of like what Marvel movies are, where compared to Captain America 4, it had a lot of character, it had themes, it had like they had to promote it as being, hey, this is a movie where actually talented people worked on it instead of just whoever needed to get a Marvel paycheck. And it shows. You can find me on Blue Sky at Coltreg. You can also find my itch.io on Coltreg. You can find me most places as Coltreg, Koltreg, except on LinkedIn, where I'm Luke Herr, Lukeherr, and that's also where you can find my personal website. Our cover art is by Mike Patten, who you can find most places at Patten Pending, PattenPending. And the podcast can be found at DohMance Dawn and Blue Sky. That's really the only social media that I update. And we also have a Discord, and the Discord is great. I finished reviewing like 8 different types of root beer.
Come for the root beer chat.
Mm-hmm.
Post your root beer finds. We love it.
And also be part of the channel that Janine can't see, where I'll post things like
Or just root beer chat.
Yeah, it's also the best way for me to remind you when we have new characters open. So yeah, come back next week as we see the movie that came out the same time as they were doing Spa Island. It's going to be spooky, so hold on to your dookie. Actually, it was the same time as Ocean's Dream. Smooth sailing. Peace.